Believe it or not, 2021 is going to be my third full year of reselling as a part-time reseller. So I thought it'd be really fitting to share with you 3 changes that I plan on making in the year 2021 based on how 2020 went when it comes to my reselling business. Stay tuned.
Won't nobody love you the way they should. Won't nobody check up on you, make sure you're good. Won't nobody check those body treatments for your neck.
Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park and I am a part-time reseller on Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, Kidizen, thredUP, Shopify. There's like too many now to name. Basically, if you can sell clothes there, I am there. If you're brand new to my channel, thank you so much for checking me out. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you consider sticking around by subscribing and hitting that little bell notification, especially if you like videos like this filled with tips and tricks regarding reselling or thrift hauls, what sold videos, all that kind of stuff that you typically see on a reselling YouTube channel. And if you are coming back to my channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being a part of the community. So now that we're like basically at the end of January, I've had a lot of time to reflect on 2020 and the changes that I want to make as we are in 2021. And I was really able to think of 3 really big things. And so let's just jump right into them. The first thing that I want to do a better job of, and this is something that honestly I would advise people to do from the beginning. You should not wait till your 3rd year to do this, but I want to pay more attention to the data surrounding my reselling business so that I can make educated decisions when it comes to how to do anything and everything when it comes to reselling. I'm just going to be straight up and honest with you from the get-go and tell you that this video may sound like it is an ad for this app that I'm going to be talking about a lot. It is not. The app that I'm about to talk about has no idea that I'm even making this video. This is not sponsored by them or anything like that. I have done actually sponsored content for them before, and I do work very closely with them in different capacities, but they don't know anything about this video. I just really love this app. So the app is called Seller Insight, and Seller Insight is basically an app that shows you your data when it comes to your Poshmark business. It shows you, what kinds of things you're selling, how much you're selling them for, what your average sales price is, all that kind of stuff. And you can figure that stuff out on your own without the app using the sales report that Poshmark gives you. But as someone who's not very tech savvy or very good with Excel or creating spreadsheets, I really like how Seller Insight just kind of creates graphs and charts out of information from my sales reports and my inventory reports. And I can just look at the app and figure out a lot of the information much more quickly. So I feel like, the first 2 years of reselling for me really were just kind of for fun. It was a hobby. It was something I did on the side. I would just kind of pick stuff up. If it was cheap, I would just take a chance on it. And I like fashion, but I never really took the time to sit there and research the newest trends or, all that kind of stuff. And so I feel like now that it's my 3rd year, maybe I should take this a little bit more seriously. And I want to really start paying attention to what kinds of clothing items are selling well for me, what kinds of brands are selling well for me. And on the flip side, what things are not selling well for me, and to make better business choices and to leave behind the things that are not doing well for me at the thrift, at the consignment store, wherever I may be sourcing, and to focus on the things that are doing well for me. So Seller Insight has really helped me to see those things very clearly because of the beautiful pictures and graphs. So that is the first thing that I'm going to change going into 2021 is I want to pay better attention to my data and analytics. There are a lot of ways to do it. Seller Insight is my favorite. However, I know that there are other tools out there. Sarah Stiles has a really great dashboard, and the cool thing about her dashboard is that you can see what all of your numbers look like from all of the different platforms that you sell on, which is really cool. I know Mogi Beth has the spreadsheet that she released, and I know Kelly, I will put her Instagram information here. I know she has a really cool program called Thrifter Scorecard. I could be butchering that. I will put it here if I messed it up, but she has a really cool tool as well that you can use to have a better idea of what your real numbers look like. So that's something that I'm going to be taking more seriously, is just really understanding the ins and outs of my business when it comes to numbers, because at the end of the day, time is money. And as much fun as I have just kind of picking up things willy-nilly and just hoping that it'll sell, but I think it's about high time I start paying attention to my numbers and letting them dictate what it is that I pick up, what it is that I leave behind. And I think that's one way I can make more money without necessarily having to put in more time. So that that takes me to tip number 2, which is what I'm going to be sourcing. And after looking at the data on Seller Insight, one thing I learned that was pretty shocking to me is that even though I sell the most volume of women's clothing, the category of clothing that gives me the highest ASP, which is average sales price, is actually men's clothing. And what that tells me is I actually should be focusing a little bit more of my attention on men's clothing because for whatever reason, it is selling for more money. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna, look at women's pieces in general, but it does mean like maybe instead of starting in the women's section at the thrift store, I start in the men's section. Now, I don't know why it is that my men's pieces are selling for higher than, women's pieces. Now, I have a lot of different theories as to why it may be that my men's pieces are selling for more than my women's pieces, but at the end of the day, my theories don't matter. What matters is the numbers, is the data. And what the data is showing me is that I'm making more money per sale on a men's piece than I am on a women's piece. I've heard from a lot of you in the comments that men's clothing just bores you to tears. I actually don't mind men's clothing. I don't mind looking through the men's section at the thrift store. And so like I said, I think maybe I'm going to try putting a little bit more attention on men's clothing, see how that does, see if by selling more men's pieces, if that trend continues where my, ASP is highest for men still, even if I, kind of show a little less love to the women's categories. So I will try it out. I will report back to you and let you know how it goes. But yeah, I think I want to see what happens if I source more men's pieces. So another revelation that I had after studying my data on the Seller Insight app is that not only am I selling men's pieces for more money than anything else, but I'm also selling the most shoes out of any type of clothing item that I offer on Poshmark. And not only am I selling more shoes than anything else, but I don't even have as many shoes in my Poshmark closet as I do like shirts or pants. You know what I mean? Like it's not like the majority of my Poshmark closet is shoes, and that's why it makes sense that I'm selling so many shoes. It's not like the majority of my Poshmark closet is not shoes. And so the fact that despite that, shoes are still showing up as number 1, that just goes to show you that shoes are definitely something that people are coming to Poshmark to shop for, and that it's something that is selling for me in my Poshmark closet. So I want to focus a lot of my attention on shoes. So when I go to the thrift store now, or when I go to consignment stores or buy sell trade stores, I definitely am going to be running to the shoe section first, maybe even like the shoe section of the men's department, and then the women's, and then maybe children's, but just shoes in general not only seem to be selling well for me volume wise, but also the ASP for shoes for me is highest compared to everything else. So those are some revelations I had regarding what kinds of things I want to focus my time on. That doesn't mean I'm not going to pick up like bottoms or tops or outerwear or anything like that anymore. But again, I want to focus on what has historically been doing well for me and see if I can continue to grow that success. Kind of going along with that, and this isn't really anything that I learned from Seller Insight necessarily, but I do want to also try to focus a little bit more in 2021 on sourcing pieces that are more of a necessity than just a frivolous thing that someone might want in their wardrobe. And 2020 was such an interesting year, and for me, just as a consumer, I know I changed a lot as far as what kinds of things I was purchasing, because for the most part, I just was not leaving my house very much. I wasn't even leaving my house to go to work because I was teaching remotely. And so a lot of what I maybe would have bought in 2019, I wasn't even looking at anymore in 2020 because I was like, where am I going to wear this beautiful dress? Like I have nowhere to wear it to, so I'm not going to buy it. And although 2021 is a new year and there have already been a lot of really great changes, it still looks like we're going to be spending a lot of time at home. I don't think as many people are going to be out like clubbing or partying or different things like that. And so that's going to dictate a lot of how I source, and I'm going to be thinking more about what do people need versus what do people want. And I'm going to put a lot of my effort into sourcing the kinds of things that people need, because a lot of people are learning how to kind of set aside the things that they want, especially also because of the economic, situation that we're in as a nation. And so I think that is going to dictate a lot of how I source, is just kind of asking myself as I look at a piece, is this something that someone needs in their life? And if it's not, most likely I'm going to leave it behind. The third thing that I'm going to try to do do in 2021 to grow my business is I'm going to change where I source. So I feel like the first 2 years that I was reselling, I spent most of my time, picking up items at thrift stores. And while I have found some really cool pieces and, some really amazing pieces, the truth is because of where I live, I don't live in like a big metropolitan area. While there is treasure to be found at any thrift store, generally speaking, I just wasn't able to find enough quality pieces at any given thrift store that would justify the amount of time that I spent searching for those pieces. Again, I'm not saying that I'm going to rule out going to thrift stores at all, but what I spent a lot of 2020 doing was looking into other ways of sourcing. In 2020, I actually built up some really great relationships with a couple different consignment stores in my area, and I found that shopping at the local consignment stores were definitely much more worth my time than shopping at thrift stores, just because when you are looking at a consignment store, every single piece that's in there has already been looked at and kind of vouched for and selected by someone who works at that consignment store. That's not to say that there aren't going to be any flaws on any of the items. I've definitely still seen a lot of items, even at the consignment store, with stains and holes and different things of that nature, because they're human and they're going to miss things, or things get flawed when they're at the store. But generally speaking, the quality is higher, the brands are better, and you just have a much easier time finding things that you're going to be able to flip. And furthermore, my local consignment stores, they're very reasonably priced. I mean, their original prices obviously are higher than thrift store prices and usually kind of difficult to flip to make money, on reselling platforms. But because my consignment stores, the two, that I'm thinking about specifically, because they have really great tag sales and there's always like a color that is, 50% off, 75% off, there are some great deals to be found. And furthermore, every once in a while, I will look through just like the regular racks and I will find something that, they didn't mark up that much and I can buy it at its full price and still make a good profit on it on Poshmark or eBay or wherever. And so by shopping at a consignment store, because I'm primarily shopping their clearance items, I'm not even necessarily paying more for each item. I know a lot of people think that when you shop at consignment stores, you're automatically increasing your cost of goods, but I have found that at times I'm actually paying less for an item from a consignment store than what I would typically pay for it at my local Goodwill. Sometimes I'll get jeans at my local consignment stores for like $3 or less when I would have had to pay $6 for any pair of jeans at my local Goodwill. I also have been experimenting with Plato's Closet and trying out their sales. That's not something that's super new to me, but I even have, tried shopping Plato's Closet when there is no sale going on. And again, although a lot of those pieces perhaps, are priced a little too high to make any sort of profit by reselling them, I have found that because I live in a smaller town and it's a college town and it's a lot of college kids perhaps, pricing the items, there are some great brands that kind of fly under the radar and they're just priced well enough that I can still make a really good profit on those items. And so for me, one change that I'm going to be making for my reselling business is spending more time at consignment stores and buy-sell trade stores and less time at my local thrift stores. So those are the 3 changes that I'm making. The first one is I'm going to pay more attention to my numbers, to my data. And the second thing that I'm changing is what I'm going to source. I'm going to spend more time on men's clothing and on shoes. And the final thing that I'm going to change is where I source. I'm going to kind of try to spend less time at my local thrift stores and spend more time at the local consignment stores and buy-sell trade store, which in my town, we just have the one Plato's, but still, I have found some treasures. I would love to hear from you. What things are you changing in 2021 when it comes to your reselling business? Have you thought about what you learned in 2020 and how you're going to take those lessons to evolve your business in 2021? I would love to hear, because I'm sure I would like to steal some of your ideas and some of the changes that you're going to be making. So please share them down below in the comments. And I always recommend this in my videos, but I also recommend that you spend some time in the comment section interacting with other people who have left comments, because by no means am I like some sort of reselling expert or guru. I'm just sharing my experience with you guys here on YouTube. And there's so many people who watch my videos who have much more experience than I do and so much knowledge to share. So I promise you, if you read through some of these comments in the comment section, you're going to find some gems when it comes to just advice when it comes to reselling. So definitely spend some time in the comment section. But if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, because it does help out this video and my channel in general. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure that you do that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.